so I wanted to record my first ever sketchbook tour of sorts. For me, this sketchbook I had for over a year actually. It ended up being sort of like a doodle book as well as almost a journal of sorts. And I wanted to just go through it to sort of show where I kind of started off and where I'm going. And with that, let's jump right in. Also, if you hear any whining in the background, those are my dogs. Sorry. So the first page, it really is nothing interesting. It was practicing with different kinds of charcoal. And then this was my, skip the page actually. This is my first page. It's not bad. It's just doodles. Most of this I didn't use any reference for, and it was pretty much just my sort of just doodling and rambling. I want to redo this piece. I think it could look pretty cool with more and better anatomy. I had this obsession with drawing glasses for a certain point, so that's one of a couple. And this is a smaller version of an abstract design that we had to do for the design class, and I was just such a fan of what I had created that I made a smaller version to go in my sketchbook. So these are those glasses again. I wanted to have the idea of like you're looking through it and you see something. So the circle ones you see the beach, and then this you see some kind of like I don't really know. This next one was a bit of an anatomy practice, a bit of me avoiding writing an essay. I drew this, a friend of mine drew that. You can probably tell due to the totally different art styles. The anatomy on this is not correct, but you know what, I tried, so that's what matters here. This was trying out with style, so I was kind of experimenting with more of an angular shape of the body versus a much more soft and curvature. And then this is actually just notes from class. One of them was a really funny quote that our TA had said. I was doing figure drawing, and the model, he had his backside to me, and so I was drawing his butt. And she looks at me, and the butt was too big. And I knew that, and I was trying to fix it, and she looks at me and she goes, "You're at Beyonce right now, and you gotta take it at least to Taylor Swift." And I thought that was a pretty hysterical thing. And then just more notes about portraits. This was an in-class doodle of a greaser, because I was feeling that for some reason. And more notes from class. These two I just kind of, no, didn't really happen. These are just sketches from during in design class in which we were challenged with, creating our two final projects for it was, one, you could either create a self-portrait, and two was create a social commentary, and you had the option to combine the two of those. So I really wanted to toy with the idea of combining the two of those. There's just a sketch of a bed. This I was really proud of, you can tell because I inked it and I signed it. More crappy sketches, more notes, more good quotes, like Leonardo is the Tony Stark of the Renaissance, and if I die, I won't live to regret it. Classic stuff. These were sort of some thought sketches of the design, social commentary thing, and that's what this ended up being. This would become a piece that I did a lot of thumbnailing for and things like that. And it would eventually become a piece that would go into my portfolio. And then for our drawing final, you got to pretty much come up with whatever you wanted. And so I thought of this weird idea where portraits of people, of their heads, but instead of their head it was fruit that kind of symbolized their personality. And so I sketched that out. There's Pepe, because Pepe the Frog, and did some sketches of more things like that. Doodles. I read the book Milk and Honey, and I absolutely loved it, and so I was really impressed by the sort of simple line drawings, and so I wanted to push myself to see what I could come up with just lines. This is I love this one. I love this so much. I think that's hysterical. Obviously in the moment it wasn't, but looking back on it, I think it's so funny. These are drawn from photo reference. Some of them are okay. As you can tell, I like to leave myself notes on my art. Here's some more journal-y stuff. That was color testing for my design final. And a lot of this is really just doodling, because I was bored during crit. So that's drawn from photo reference. These are photo reference, more photo reference, in which I was literally just copying someone's drawing. These were review notes for my digital photography quiz. Self-explanatory. That was a sketch that I really liked. I think it doesn't really capture the likeness of the person, but I do enjoy it quite a bit, and that's one of my favorites as well. This was a sketch of some old guy at a cafe that I was sitting at, and I fucked him. This is a sketch of some guy at a cafe, and I screwed up his neck, but I think it still looks pretty good. I think I captured his likeness pretty well, and perspectives for me are really difficult. So these are when I very, very briefly participated in Inktober. Last year, I totally got off track and lost count with the prompts and all that. But these are my first few from more experimenting with pen and ink. This is literally where I stopped with Inktober, was day 3, and I was a day late to begin with. So these are sketching and little thumbnails or designs for, whatchamacallit, this is the redo of my design vinyl. That was a literal sketch, as you can tell, because there's sketching papers and everything. So in this little bit right here, I had just started watching Robbie's videos on YouTube. I love his style, I think it's fantastic. And so I sort of did my best to squish it with whatever my style is. I still don't know. And so that's sort of where a lot of these things came from. Most of these are in-class doodles, as you can tell. I did most of my doodling during English class, which is kind of bad. So that's why there's a lot of mix of English notes. These were traced out of a book, and I just wanted to have them in here as reference that I could go back to and look at later. These 3 things are sketched from a book, kind of terribly, but that's alright. More sketching during English class. My obsession with Bucky Barnes is second to none. These were, in my photo class, we were using Holga cameras, which, if you don't know what they are, they're basically toy film cameras, and they're super experimental and fun. And so with 12 frames, basically we had to tell a story. And so my story was my artistic process and what it looks like. And I wanted it to be really funny, so I sketched out all the thumbnails for each one. And it had to be, these are the notes for the project itself, but it had to be creative, so you couldn't just, write, oh, this is called blah blah blah. Like, you had to create it into the frame. These are actually from calculus. Just more sketches during class. I did a rendition of the Scooby-Doo gang, sans Scooby, because drawing animals is not exactly my strong suit. I'm still really proud of those. I think I should go back and do something with them. A lot of these are really just notes and things like that, and doodles and sketches, and majority of this is done without photo reference, really just from my brain, due to the fact that I'm usually in class, or I was usually in class. At school we have a winter musical, and it was Into the Woods, and so because at school I was an art major, everyone sort of pushed me to do the design of the poster, which I will put on the screen somewhere, because that was my sort of initial sketch, and I had the final design. More stuffy because I'm trash. More really crappy sketches, more just doodles. Once again, back to that sort of block-like style. I never really fleshed it out, as you can tell due to the fact that my proportions are trash, but I tried. This was on experimenting with watercolor pencils. This is actually writing a song, which I have fully recorded. And these are some more just, my friend did that in my sketchbook. And these are just, once again, more very incoherent doodles. This I really liked. This I scanned and made digital, as well as that, which I haven't finished. I should go back and play with that a little bit more. Notes, more sketches. This I eventually turned into a digital piece. More just anatomy practice. This is that photo that I'm talking about when I have all of these drawings. I actually now have some notes from my art teacher in here, which is those, and just some sketches like this. These were no reference, so overall I was quite impressed. This was a sketch I did on a plane. I really struggle with drawing hair, and so this was me kind of doing some studies with hair and all that. This was a bit of like a Zentangle thing that I made on a plane. It is okay. This is practice drawing in perspective. I hate it. It is trash. This is my initial drawing of the sort of Carmilla crew. You have Danny, Kirsch, Carm, Laura, Laugh, and Perry. I started it, never really finished it, made it digital. It's okay. That's sinful. And this is sort of a practice of a room sketch, which uses pretty trash. I feel like I'm gonna have to cover that. More just practice sketches. These I used, there's a website, it's called Quick Reference, I think it's quickreference.com, but basically they have just a massive library of reference images. You can get hands, faces, full bodies, you can have clothed, or nude or partially nude, and you can do time challenges, or or just, shuffle through lots of pictures. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I'm tiny, why would I have a sponsor? And it was just awesome because you can shuffle through this really big library and just do quick little sketches to just sort of get the gist of everything. This was a project that I never really realized. Another tracing, more practices with just bodies and things like that. Just kind of doing my darndest. These were in colored pencil and I actually really like them. I don't think they're perfect, but I think they were a good start. That's practicing planning out a face, more stuff. That I actually traced my hand and then kind of broke it down to help think about shapes. A lot of these I'm very proud of because I think they're okay without reference. That I drew from a book. These two are from a book. That was me. My friend drew stuff in here, and I did some doodles over here. These I'm really proud of. These two especially. From that reference thing, Quick Reference, and I just did some pretty quick sketches. They're not perfect, obviously, but they were some of the best that I'd done in a long time, so I was really proud of them. And this was just a quick sketch of a restaurant across the street from the cafe I was in. So this page is more sort of ideas and sketching. I did a metalworking class of sorts, and our prompt was a self-portrait, a representative self-portrait that could be viewed in the round. And I had gone into the program basically being like, I want to make a crown. I just want to make a crown. I don't care how, I'm going to do it. So I actually did. And what I did is I made, the idea of a skeleton was originally my first thought, but that was a little bit too creepy in my opinion. Again, I'm not very creepy or spooky in any way. And so what I did is I made a crown and I made a rib cage, and the crown actually is first off custom fitted to my head, but second off can rest on the rib cage. And I thought of it as this cool idea of marrying the head and the heart. And so these are just more quick doodles from my lunch break. And then my friend drew that, which I'm very impressed with. They were like, it's not so good. More doodles, that was from that website. This was an art trade I did, which I was actually pretty proud of. And then it's pretty much the end of this sketchbook, besides this, which is planning again, and then some sketches. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you can actually see some, you know, progress in the progression of the sketchbook. And if you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, whatever it is that other people do with their YouTube videos, and let me know what kind of videos you want to see, because I can do more videos like the short films, or I can do more like this, or I can even do drawing videos or music videos, but I don't really know what to do unless y'all tell me what you like to see. So thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. You are the whiniest little butt ever. You whined through my entire thing. You're so whiny. So whiny. But so cute.